Yeah, I mean, Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley, man, the Nigerian Nightmare and New Mansa. So EGF, man, you had a bold prediction. I want to know if you still with it, man.
Oh man, you
Yeah,
trying to get me to say
yeah,
it on the pod?
yeah. I'm gonna say it on the pod.
My
So
my predict man, my prediction is man Buckley by decision.
you got Buckley now. You got Buckley now.
Buckley's gonna win by decision.
Okay, we'll go. We'll win into the change of heart because I mean, was the
Man, I never really believed in Usman, bro. It's just, I'm not a fan of Buckley. I just think that man, with the way that at least his last couple fights look, Usman's body is just like disintegrated so much.
yeah?
And Buckley is so young and strong that he's just about to outwork him this fight. Usman's not gonna be able to try and wrestle him or manhandle him. I feel like it's gonna look like Buckley manhandling him, regardless how sloppy he looks. And I'm really giving Usman the benefit of the doubt, bro. Man, he's not about to get knocked out, is he, bro?
Ah, I don't know,
Man,
man. I, if I'm gonna go my official decision, I think he's gonna. I'm gonna go Joaquin Buckley by decision. I wouldn't be. I will say I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those like retirement type fights. EGF. I don't know, man. When you just like you said, Kamaru. When you think about his activity throughout his welterweight championship run, I mean, his body has a lot of mileage. We all know. I mean, he hasn't been how do I put this? He hasn't been secretive about his knee problems. I mean, the guy literally has problems with cartilage.
yeah.
I mean, he got his manager talking about he needs to take injections to train and things like that. I mean, I mean, he's on the downside and he's beat up. And like you say, I do feel like this is going to be a fight where like we just see Joaquin just kind of the younger, stronger at this point, hungrier guy just kind of outwork him. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 30-28, 30-27. One of those beat downs. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, listen, you say he's sloppy, but I don't know. When I'm watching him, his footwork is pretty good. He moves pretty well, gets in and out quickly. I mean, he has explosive power. I mean, and I think once he gets his rhythm and gets his rhythm in the striking and gets to kind of stuffing a few takedowns, I think Usman will probably take him down. But I imagine Buckley will be able to work his way up and things like that and be able to push a pace with his striking and things like that. And I just, like you said, I kind of think he's going to overwhelm him, man. At this stage, he might
Have
be
you
too.
seen Have you seen the eyes?
I have. I think I don't think. I think Buckley was minus 200, something like that. I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say Usman. Yeah, Usman a plus 200. You think that's cool? Like, what percent do you give Usman to win this fight? And what do you think the method of victory will be for him to win? You think it would just be? Do you think he could actually take down Buckley?
I mean, I know I don't want to compare him to Kobe Covington because I mean, Kamaru Usman is double of what Kobe Covington is, but in saying that though, this could be a bright spot for Usman because we saw before Joaquin was able to get the stoppage, Covington was able to kind of get him to the ground a few times and kind of make things somewhat interesting, make us feel like things were somewhat starting to take a turn. So I mean, I do see a scenario where I mean Kamaru Usman probably takes a round off him from, grappling. Grappling heavy, keep him against the cage, keeping him like I said against the cage and not out the center where he can, strike, dance, and move and
Mhm.
make Kamaru kind of chase him. But I mean, ultimately, I think Buckley will just. I think the takedowns won't be too much for Buckley to worry about. I think Usman's gonna
So,
have.
so what percent do you give Usman to win?
I'm gonna say Usman. I'm gonna say Usman has about 35%, 35, 40
35%.
chance. And given what we've seen, but what we've seen Buckley and given what we've seen out of Buckley and against the talent of guys that we've seen against Buckley. I mean, because Buckley's not fighting. I mean, he's not necessarily fighting world championship contenders like world class, but I mean, he's putting together somewhat of a resume. I mean, he's finished
I
Luke
mean,
Cage.
he's had the Patty Pimblett roadmap. You know how it goes.
Think he's had a little harder of a road than Patty, but
You sure? You sure?
probably not.
Wonder
I
Boy and Kobe Covington.
was gonna say Wonder Boy, Kobe Covington, Vicente Luque. I mean, he's somewhat putting. I mean, if he beats Usman, now that will be that name on the resume that like turns your head. But
I
I mean,
guess at this point, he just man, Usman's so old, bro.
so okay,
I don't want to sleep on him though, because man, really, I give Usman like a 40. Usman got to get 40%.
I think
It's just,
so.
I just man, You kind of convinced me. You making me feel like the way you described him, like Buckley about to work him, like he about to. That's kind of how you making it sound.
I think it's gonna
And
be one of those fights,
and
man.
I can't like say that you wrong if that's how you feel though. And it's like I don't know, bro. I really don't want to see that though. Do we really want to see Usman get beat up, bro? That's the
Man,
thing about these legend fights that I don't like, bro. Because
yeah,
we're watching somebody that carried the UFC at one point get demolished.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm not
You
gonna
got
lie. So I'm okay. So I'm. You said something. So do you? So do you think winning over Buckley? Because I said like I went over Buckley, went over Usman, will be like that name that I turn a name. Do you think at this point beating Usman is like something to worth noting?
yeah, but I don't think it means what it would have meant 3 years ago, obviously. Because Usman's still like a legend. He's probably the greatest welterweight that's still active. He is. But like at this point, who's better, Bilal or Usman? Sean Brady or Usman?
Sean Brady, yeah,
You
Bilal.
feel me though? Like it's not that like he's still a credible name. Like you still beat him, but it's not like you beat the top dog or anything like that. Like there's still an argument that can be made, and he knows. I think he acknowledged it himself. It's a chance that he has to fight somebody again after this Usman fight if he wins. I think that's fair. But yeah, it's a name. It's somebody to know. Although we'll see how Usman look, bro. We'll see how Usman look,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm kind of excited to see him because I mean, he one thing that he's been real adamant about is saying, "Oh, I'm not. I'm waiting, and I'm completely waiting until I'm completely 100%. I'm ready." He's been talking about how he's been
Usman.
obviously, yeah, how he's been nicked up during his title run, how he's never really been healthy, went into a fight completely healthy or like with a full camp healthy in a while. Like, so I'm excited to see him refreshed. I mean, sometimes that refreshing. Oh, no, sorry. Sometimes that refreshment for the older guys can rejuvenate them. You know, sometimes that's what it does, man. I mean, we seen it with DP when he fought BSD. We seen it with Volk versus Diego. I mean, sometimes it can help, but ultimately, man, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Buckley finishes him, but I think it's gonna be Buckley by decision, man. I just think, like I said, at this stage, Buckley
So
with,
so how do
with
you
that
feel about
with the activity Buckley's been keeping up and the level of guys and the level of performances he's been putting up. I mean, yeah, I mean, you look at Usman, he's got knocked out. He lost a controversial decision to Leon. And then he put on a good I mean, in my opinion, I think Hamza, I don't want to say dominated him, but he kind of dominated him. But he put up a good enough fight considering it was Hamza and you fought him on 11 days notice. Or
yeah.
but I mean, I don't know, it just
So
seems
do you think he deserves a title fight next with this win?
I think he should have heavy consideration for like a number one contender fight for sure. Title fight right after. I don't know because I mean Shavkat is still
Yeah,
there.
I'll say welterweight. We like how we just talking about lightweight and everybody having a case. Welterweight is another one of them. And to be honest with you, it's gonna sound messed up because we just talking how great Usman is, and that's why I guess I'm just not putting it together. This win wouldn't get it. You can't get a title fight. Not in welterweight with this win, bro.
Yeah, it's
Not
gonna.
with Sean Brady just submitting the former champ. Not with. I mean, Shav is still here.
Yeah, Shav is still here.
And
And
Bilal, I mean, Bilal's the former champ. I mean, if Islam loses, it's not like he's not gonna want some type of like he just called out. He been calling out. He said he wanted to fight. What's the name? Ian Gary in Madison Square Garden.
yeah,
Like that. Like you can't tell me him beating Ian Gary wouldn't get him in that conversation somewhat. And who do you respect more at this point? And it's gonna be an interesting question, I guess. Ian Gary or Usman? Young Ian Gary, who's I mean, I guess in his prime, or Kamaru Usman at this point.
if I'm being honest, I think a win over Ian Gary is probably worth a little bit more stock. If I'm just being completely honest, yeah,
Exactly.
probably, yeah,
And that's why I say like it's kind of like lightweight in the sense that everybody here is gonna have a case. So the only way to really solve this, since none of y'all are like big enough, and to be honest with you, I think Buckley's been trying to make his name bigger with the way he's been talking about Islam, all the quotes he's been trying to get off. I mean, he's trying,
yeah,
but at this point, I kind of feel like everybody in welterweight is just trying to say a bunch of dumb stuff. We had Sean Brady talking like a month ago, so like
yeah.
I don't know, everybody's trying to take that number one spot, but I don't know. I guess it depends on how he beats him. If he does win by decision, he has to. But it feels like hypothetically, like flatline him in the first round,
Yeah.
I don't know. That
So
makes a JDM versus Buckley fight actually exciting. Like
yeah,
two dominant strikers with proven resumes at this point.
I'm kind of glad you said that because yeah, I think that also matters too. And I didn't say it, but how he wins. Like you said, if he comes out and just, like you said, I mean, just knocks him out in the first round, now we're talking. Okay. But if it's like a controversial decision, if it's like Usman look like he's still, like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like 3-2.
Yeah, it's just something you have to see. And I think, is it it is 5 rounds. It
Yeah, it
is
is
five.
5 rounds.
Oh, okay. That's
That's why I
interesting.
said I don't know. That's why I said it's not. It being 5 rounds makes me feel like Usman could drown him.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Usman got in the tank anymore to say he
I'm
can
about to
drown
say, I'm
anybody.
about to say, can a 38-year-old Usman really drown or push a pace on Buckley? I'm not saying he can. I'm not really saying he can, but I think that's a hard question to answer. Like, are you really going to be 38 depending on pushing a pace on someone who? I mean, Buckley. I like to think he's pretty active when he fight
Mhm.
with his striking. I mean, he's shown that he is willing to wrestle and things like that. I mean, he's strong. He's probably going to be just as strong as Usman, just as powerful, if not as powerful. Can I really depend on an Usman who's been knocked out, kind of beat up by Hamzat, been through another fight with Leon at this point to push a pace on Buckley? Can I? Like, can I really? I don't
I don't
know.
know, man. Talking to you makes me feel like Buckley about to knock him out in round 4, bruh. I think I'm man. Buckley about to knock out in round 4 is my new official my new official prediction, bruh.
Gonna go, but I kind of do feel like one of these guys are gonna get finished. I'm gonna go Buckley TKO. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go round three. I'm gonna go round three.
Briz, given that Usman is gonna like try and keep the pace up with him, but like kind of like Wonder Boy in them later rounds, like
Yeah,
Buckley don't got the biggest gas tank, but it's enough to like he if he catches you, he's gonna try and catch you. He's not gonna like be blinking.
yeah.
And
He's
I
still powerful in the third round. I would say.
yeah
Like now we haven't seen him in the fourth. He looks like like he carries his power like around the whole fight. Like
yeah
you said, he swings with intent, and like you said, with Usman trying to put a pace on him and take him down, he's gonna be taking damage. I feel like he's just gonna. I mean, it's not
That's
like
it. That's why I said at the same time. I don't know. At this rate, I feel like Usman. I feel like at this point, his career, Usman isn't gonna last, bro. I think the gas tank in his body is gonna give in,
I think so.
especially in a case where, like, I mean, he was in there with Shemaev, but this is another person that's big. He's gonna drain you. Like, you trying to take down Joaquin Buckley is not gonna be some type of easy decision. You're gonna be trying to take him down and avoiding that right hand. Like,
Yeah,
it's not. I don't know. I think it's a chance that Buckley he just gets tired out and Buckley just finishes him.
yeah. His body can wear. I mean, it's a chance. I mean, especially if if Buckley can, like I said, stuff some early, put some damage on him. While, like you said, I could see Usman trying to think, oh, I can get into the championship rounds and push a pace and drown him. If he does that, and like I said, Buckley is able to keep it standing more than Usman wants and just damage him early, his body could wear down and present a knockout in those later rounds. I feel like so. I don't know. What's my official decision? I need one. What's your official decision? You going with the round four?
I'm going Buckley round 4 knockout.
I kind of feel like, dude, the way they fight, one of them is probably going to get finished, dude. Like, because like you said, Usman is going to be trying to push a pace and take him down and do all that. Because he knows he can't stand at him, especially at this stage. Because Usman was never really
Mm.
stand up guy, anyways. But especially at this stage, he's not moving his head from a Buckley combo without getting compromised at some extent. He's
I
not.
don't know. I don't know. At the same time, bro, he's a fucking oblique kick away from it
Yeah,
all being over, bro.
yeah, yeah,
He's like a serious like it's.
yeah,
I don't know. We could
yeah.
also talk about this on the flip side though. We didn't acknowledge it, but we not. I mean, we won and one in our main event predictions. We ain't get to talk about the Murad thing, but we said Murad was gonna win. We said by decision. But
Yeah.
we 1-1, so hopefully we don't go 1-2. But
Apparently,
in case we do, we got to talk about the flip side now. Usman came out and said if he wins, he feels like he should get the number one fight against Islam if he beats JM. And I mean, I feel like they're gonna do it to like probably give Islam some type of like defense at welterweight before he retires. But
legacy.
pound for pound number one versus former pound for pound, I mean, I'm buying it a little bit. I am. And then after that, he said he wants to move up and fight DDP or Shemaev. I think that's a horrible idea if this fantasy did happen. But how you feel about it? How you feel about his plans?
I mean, I do think, you know, the whole week I was saying, I mean, it was kind of crazy. Like, how can he really expect to just be warranted a title shot after beating Joaquin Buckley, a guy who probably isn't a top three win in the division right now when you think about Ian Gary, Bilal, Shavkat.
I didn't even think about it like that. I guess I just assumed because of namesake.
But I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, it is a little bit somewhat intriguing because if Usman were to beat Buckley, he would have to turn back the clock a little and put on a Kamaru Usman a a vintage type performance. And I say that to say, if he beats Buckley, he's gonna have to look good. He's gonna look good to do so. He's not gonna beat Buckley with a bad performance or not his absolute best performance that he can give right now, especially with the stage of his career he's at. He's gonna have to like look good. And if he looks good and it's to the point
I guess.
where I'm like, dang, Usman, I don't know, Usman could do some serious damage. It's something that I'm willing to I mean, if Shavkat is on the shelf, it's something I'm willing to play with only because of the fact that I mean, he will have a top 5 win
But
and
I feel like I don't know. So do
he
you
will,
feel like, I guess my question would be, do you feel like he will deserve the title shot? If hypothetically Islam beat JDM in September or October, and now we
no.
sitting there with the conversation, who gets the next title fight with what's on the table so far? Would you give it to Usman? Would it win over Buckley?
The reason I would give it even some thought, because like you said, the whole idea of the former pound for pound versus the new pound for pound is intriguing, and he would have a win over a young killer like Buckley. And we do know what the UFC is trying to do here. They're trying to job out Usman and trying to, hype out, get Buckley some
I
hype.
with Buckley.
So if he were to do like to, mess that up, I do think that would be worth that would be worth that would be something to think about and note the fact that like, well, dang, we kind of thought Usman was on his last legs and he just pulls out a Kamaru Usman vintage type
But see,
performance.
and that's why I raised the question though, because I feel like then we'd have to ask the question: how valuable is a win over Buckley at this point? Yeah,
And I would,
he's 4-0 in the division, but I mean, again, he's not a Sean Brady, he's
yeah,
not a Bilal, he's
yeah,
not a Shav, he's not.
you're right. So yeah, I'm glad you said that because I mean the short answer would be just because of what you just said. No, I don't think he would deserve a title shot because I mean, like you said, with Shavkat sitting there, Brady sitting here. I mean, hell, I mean, we even said Ian Gary at this point is probably more valuable having a win over than Buckley. I mean, to be honest, no, but it will be worth playing with, I guess. I mean, if guys get hurt, if Shavkat's still on the shelf, if Sean Brady does
I'll
get
just say this: Sean Brady should not be happy if some shit like that happened.
yeah, I will, yeah. You submit the guy that beat Usman twice, and then Usman, yeah, that will be
Sounds
some.
like an Armin Sarukian situation. I
No,
ain't gonna
it
keep
doesn't
bringing it
sound
up
like Armin
though.
Sarukian situation because Armin literally had a chance to fight for the
He
belt.
got hurt though.
Yeah, he got hurt.
You think he can control getting injured?
He can't control getting
I don't
injured.
know, the UFC is being really harsh on him, and we should have a conversation about it. People don't want to talk about it because they mad that he got money already and he don't
You know,
need this.
I think
But
that's
you think
that's.
he chose to get hurt?
I don't think he chose to get hurt, but I do think in the business world there is a better way to do things. Now, I'm not a doctor and I don't know the extent of his injury, but I will say I'm sure he had to know some, unless he really got hurt the night, and which I don't see how that would happen. But unless he got hurt the night before, which I don't see how that would happen, but it could have. I'm pretty sure he went into that fight camp knowing like, okay, dang, there is a chance, like my back is, there's a chance. I mean, dang, I might not be healthy. He could have informed the UFC like, hey man, you guys maybe should think about getting the backup, I don't know. My back is feeling weird. I've been dealing with this. But that's if he didn't get injured the day before. If he didn't get injured the day before, then okay, then that doesn't matter. Because I mean, if you get injured the day before, I mean, can't give him a notice. But if he went into that camp knowing that he has some type of problems, and it could be something that causes a red alarm, red flag, and he didn't say anything until the day before, then yeah, he should be punished. He should be.
Man, I know he should. I don't know.
Okay,
He's
what
the
you
number.
what you think then?
He's the number one contender in his division, a division where nobody else deserves it outside of him. It's like a blatant thing. It's like Mavzar 2.0.
Well, they're making
He's
my
literally the number one, and his last win is against the former champ of the division.
and so is well not of the division, but Mazar beat a former champion. You know what they did? They made him fight again. They made him fight again.
I guess, bro. I guess, and like man, Usman, real is real, bro. Us having this conversation has just made me like, all hope I had in Usman is now gone. It's gone.
Really?
He's not going. He's not about to win.
You don't think so?
Man, his best bet is to grapple him, bro. But he's not about to hold Buckley against the fence.
I just don't see him doing that.
If he
Like,
does, though, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be that mad because I've been waiting for Buckley to get fraud checks for a while now. Because
oh,
he isn't skillful. Him
he
not holding him against the fence isn't because he's good at stopping takedowns. It's because of just pure brute force, just pure strength.
you
That's
think so?
it.
You think
Yes,
so?
it's not because of skill. It's not because he has some type. Man, if Shive got Buckley against the fence, it's over.
Yeah, if
If
Shav
Sean Brady, it's over.
fence is
This
over.
is about no. So him getting Usman off of him is about him being strong and Usman being weak. Not
How
because he's some type of
Usman's probably
like
one of the best wrestlers. He probably is the best wrestler, pure wrestler in the division.
yeah when he was like 32 and was acting like the king of Africa.
So
Man, Usman's wrestling compared to Sean Brady, Bilal, he's not even a top three wrestler in his division anymore.
you don't think so?
No,
Okay, all right.
man, I don't know, bruh. So if he beats him, bruh, man, I can't wait because they don't have no. At this point, it's kind of like Ian Gary. How I was with him like a year ago. They have no choice but at this point to put Buckley up against one of them three guys, bruh.
Who was the three guys?
Bilal, Sean Brady, or Shav, because he's not about to just get the next title fight.
Yeah, yeah.
He gonna have to fight somebody, or hypothetically, in this crazy world, the loser of JDM and Islam. One of them four people, he gonna have to fight him, and he's not winning.
I honestly feel like if if Joaquin wins, if Joaquin wins, I feel like they're gonna probably try to give him either Ian Gary or they're probably gonna try to give him.
Mm.
They're probably gonna try to give him Leon Edwards, and then
Ah, wow.
and then
We just dropped now Leon to the fullest extent. No,
you got to give Leon a chance to show he can still hang with the younger guys.
I
Give
ain't lie.
Buckley an actual former champ on his resume.
I ain't even think about that.
And then if Kamaru Usman wins, they're probably going to give him. Well,
Leon versus Usman 3.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Leon versus Usman 3.
They're not going to do that. I was going to say they're probably going to give him Bilal, but how Usman's talking, he's acting like he's past that. He doesn't care for Bilal anymore.
He ducking him.
But they're probably going to try to give him Bilal, or
Damn, I forgot about Leon.
I can see them trying to make Usman Shav. I can see that. I can see that.
I don't think we want to
Oh,
see
no,
that
no.
too.
Usman Shav or probably Usman Brady.
Usman Brady, I think he got a better chance against Brady, but Schaub would murder him.
Yeah, yeah,
Usman's losing to all of these people, though, and I feel like Buckley is too. I feel like they are both in that tier below all the super elite welterweights, and they're whoever wins, they're gonna try and put them in this next tier, and they're gonna get embarrassed. They're
yeah,
not beating Sean Brady, Shav, Bilal, Islam, or JDM. They're not.
yeah. So
You
I
want to
mean,
talk about what happened?
no, I was gonna say Buckley talking. You asked Buckley, can he beat Islam? He said something different. So I'm
Yeah,
saying
saying he's a better fight than him for JDM and this, that, and the third, but like
I don't know. Sometimes he can like be a little, you know.
you gotta have that personality in every division, though. You have to.
Yeah,
I think that's just a part of the. I think it's just a prerequisite, bro.
yeah,
I say before we close this out, you want to talk about the Joshua Vance sub?
yeah. I do want to talk about the Joshua Van sub. Let's talk about the Joshua Van performance. That was that was a great. That was a